and see how long it takes, right?
Yes.
All right, here we go. So, Kelly, you made a video about teacher burnout that has 76,000 views. So, take me through that process. What happened right there?
Oh boy, that was a tough time in my life. So got this middle school teaching job. I started in the middle of the year. That was the first mistake. I will never do that again. Two other teachers had already quit before me. That should have been a clue to me, too. Um, my first day was like so bad. I wanted to quit. I had every class, I had something major happen. Like kids
Mm,
cursing me out, throwing desks, like all this stuff. And yeah. And the only thing that kept me from quitting is I knew, and I've heard it happen to people, is that you get blacklisted from ever working either in the county or the state if
right.
you quit in the middle of the year. And I didn't want that to happen. So I barely got through the rest of that year. It was really tough. But
Yeah,
wow, what I saw there makes me scared for the future, our future generations. Um,
absolutely.
yeah.
So, 76,000 views on YouTube. For those of you that don't work at YouTube, to get 76,000 views on a YouTube video, that is the equivalent of like almost a million views on TikTok. Why do you think that video about quitting middle school hit such a nerve with everybody?
I know, and none of my videos even come like a close second. I think I think people could relate to it. I stir up emotion, and especially when something bad happens. I hate to say it, but it's true. The more negative stuff does get more views, I think, because if people are going through something hard, they want to watch someone or listen to someone that they could relate to. So a lot of people could relate to that, and we're experiencing the same things.
Right.
Um, I do call out parents in that video, so I definitely expected to get some backlash there, and I did, and I have a lot of dislikes on that video too. But I was okay with that. I was expecting it. Yeah, that is crazy insane. It helped me to get monetized, but nothing's even come close. When it was in its peak, I was getting like 100 views an hour,
Right.
which, and again, nothing's before or after has ever even come close to that
Right.
video.
So one
Yeah.
of the things that you mentioned right there is you were afraid to quit in the middle of the year because you didn't want to get blacklisted. Well, what did
Right.
you do? What did you do? How did you just knuckle down and make it through?
Ah,
What was that process like?
I don't even know. Some days I just, uh, some days I just was there, but maybe not in my mind. Or I would take days off, but they were legit.
Hmm.
Just that eye appointment you might schedule after school, just schedule it in the middle of the day,
Right.
which. And I just want to say, if anyone's watching, I'm not that kind of employee now. It's just like I was in a really bad situation then.
Sure.
Um, yeah, stuff like sometimes I would just go home and not be able to do anything at night, even though I knew I had a million papers to grade. I just
Hmm.
mentally couldn't do it after being there all day. I did have, of course, as all of you know, there were good kids too, but still it was hard
Yes.
because you still were dealing with the emotional of the kids that gave
Yes.
you a hard time and the parents that don't support you. You try to call home and they're like, well, I don't call you with what's going on at my job, or I don't call you with what's
Yep.
going on with the child at home. Well, yeah, I need your support. Um, yeah, I don't even know how. I think I barely got through to the
Well,
end.
I
Yeah,
think that's where a lot of teachers at. And just for clarity, middle school is one of the hardest places to teach. Now I got to be
it
honest.
is.
I absolutely 100% love middle school kids. I love sixth grade kids. I have no idea why. I just do. I think they're in such an awkward stage of life. But with that comes a lot of headaches. So,
Yeah.
how did that affect you emotionally?
Uh,
Um, did you ever get to the point to where you just didn't want to go to work?
Oh yeah, a lot, a
Hmm.
lot. Yeah, it affected me emotionally a lot. Like I would sometimes just cry when the kids were not around or after
Right.
work. Yeah, it was hard. Yeah.
So one of the things that we talk about all the time in the teaching business is we talk about what's called the Sunday scaries. You ever deal
Yeah.
with the Sunday scaries?
Oh yeah. And when I was at that job, it'd be in the Sunday morning. It wouldn't even be Sunday night. Sunday morning, I'd wake up and be like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta go to work tomorrow."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get them Sunday night, but that job, it was even the morning. Yeah.
So when your year finally when your year finally came to an end, what did you decide to do and why did you make that decision?
I knew I didn't want to work at that school again. So I started applying to a million other schools, all these other schools and places. And then I went on a couple interviews. I really wasn't getting calls back. But then I decided to try the next district over, which pays better anyway.
Hmm.
And ended up, so I guess what happens near me, I don't know if they do this where you live or anyone in the chat who's or anyone who's watching, but all the surrounding counties have like a deal with each other that they're
Yeah.
not going to take people from each other after like June 15th because they don't want to screw each other over or not have a teacher. So, anyways, I ended up getting a call from HR like on June 15th, and I was like, oh, well, if I accept this job, I got to resign in my county today. So I think it was like the ninth hour, it might have been like 5 p.m., like right
Yeah.
at end of business. I sent an email just, I resigned from this county, and it was, and then got a job in another county. So I changed districts, I changed schools, I changed job types. I definitely didn't want to do middle school anymore. And I had already decided, like, if I didn't get a job in another school, I wasn't going back to that school, even if I had to sub or do something, find something else outside of teaching. But yeah, I'll never do middle school again. It wasn't for me. God bless you, middle school teachers.
So one of the interesting things is, about 60% of America's teachers say that they're burned out.
Yeah.
And one of the most interesting things also is that about 250,000 teachers right now in the summertime, they're going to quit. So that's exactly where you were at, right? If I don't get a
Yes.
job over the summer, I'm going to quit. I'm never going to come back. Is that where
Right.
is that what I hear you saying? What do you think you would
Yes.
have what would you have done?
I don't know. I would have. Look, my original career was video. I might have looked into that. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I was at that time I was applying to jobs that were in teaching and in video, and I right at the same time got two job offers. When I got the job at that one school, I also got another job offer.
Hmm.
It would have been a longer commute. It would have been in the city and no summers off. They were paying more, but with the extra commute and paying for parking and not having summers off, like I kind of looked at it with my family, like, oh, this teaching, even though it's far, it was like a better job. So I did have to have another job that was offered to me, and if the teaching job hadn't been offered to me, I would have taken that one.
So when you made the decision to leave your district at the time or your school at the time and to go over to a different district, how did that decision affect you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically even? How were you affected?
Actually, it ended up being a good move. It was a blessing in disguise. The district where I live, which is, they just keep not giving teachers raises, whereas this other county was already paying more and they
Hmm.
continue to do raises. So then it's like the gap's getting bigger and more teachers are coming from my county and the
Right.
county next to mine to go to that county because they do um, treat their teachers better. So they have a lot better benefits and pay, and so it was a good move.
Good. So anyway, let's run over to our chat right quick. We got a few people
Okay.
jumping in. We got people on the line. So we want to invite everybody that's out there, wherever you're watching from, drop us a note right there. I keep putting it up on the screen, but drop us a note and tell us your grade level, your content area, and your state. Because if there's anything that I love more than sitting here talking to teachers, it's to know where teachers are watching from and just exactly who it is that we're reaching, because that is our purpose here. Our purpose is to reach teachers, and so far we've been able to do that all over the United States, and more specifically in other places that are outside the United States. So drop us a note right here and let us know that you're living. First of all, one of our Sarah Ann, 1976,
Hello.
she teaches up in New York, and
All right.
she may or may not be out of school yet. I'm not exactly sure. Sarah Ann,
Okay.
are you guys out yet? I can't remember. We did an episode with her some time ago. It is one of the highest watched lives that we've ever had. So y'all go check that out. All right. Also, before we go any further, I got to pull this up right here because I want you to see it. All right. Teacher Kelly is also a hey Pittsburgh Pirates 14. Good to see you, man.
Hello.
She is a YouTuber as well, and I want to share with you her channel. If I can get my screen to cooperate with me and I don't hit the wrong button and knock us out of here. Anyway, you can find her right there. All right. And Kelly, tell us a little bit about your channel. What is it that you do that you're trying to do for teachers here on your channel?
I yeah, I do all kinds of teaching topics. I did the I quit teaching. I and then after that video did so well, I decided to do a whole series on alternative careers for teachers because if
Mm-hmm.
people are watching my teaching video, they might want to quit. But then
Mm-hmm.
I interview people so I can even bring teaching topics that I don't know much about. I do a lot of live streams that I edit later, so you can even go to my live stream tab. I have want my second best video, which is like 5,000, is about teacher interview tips. And
Mm.
then sometimes I do topics, teacher topics in the news, or I'll interview someone who's like, let's say I interviewed someone who worked at WGU and different online universities in case anybody is like, I want to get out of the classroom or I want an online job so I can be flexible. And but my channel started when I started online teaching it. So like my older videos are all about online teaching. But if you wanted a side job or wanted to get into online teaching, those videos are still up and there, and you can see those. So basically, I do a lot of different topics about teachers, and I'm looking to interview a lot of people this summer. So if anyone has a topic they want to come on and talk with me about, I'm
So
open.
I'm glad you brought that up. First of all, how would people find your channel? How would they search that up in YouTube? What would they look for?
Teacher Kelly Tag. So
Okay. If they wanted to reach you about being interviewed, how would they do that? Is your email there or
it is. It's teacherkellytag@gmail.com. So it's just basically the channel name.
just basically the channel name?
Yeah, at
Um,
gmail.com.
yeah. All right. So if it's okay, can I go ahead and put that in the chat?
Yeah,
All right,
please.
I'm gonna put that
Yeah.
in the chat. So here it is. If you like to catch up with Kelly, uh, well, I thought I put it in there. Let's try it again. Yep, there it is. You can reach her right there. It should show up. There it is in the chat. Reach out to her. She is a great resource as a teacher. She knows exactly what it's like to go through hard times, and she has innovative ideas. So check it out. Hey, got my good friend in here, John, with Level Yourself Up, from Indiana. Good to see you, John. Sarah Ann is in New York. She is not out of school just yet. All right, she's
Oh,
hanging on right
wow.
there.
How much
Yes,
longer do you have?
I bet they go on. I bet they go to the 20th.
Oh, wow.
I bet
And are you in New York City or like upstate? I know it's a big state. Everyone thinks of the city.
it is. It's gigantic. Pittsburgh Pirates 14, eighth grade math, and to no surprise, he's in Pittsburgh. So appreciate y'all
Yeah.
being in here tonight. Anyway, drop us some stuff in the chat. Talk to Kelly. Ask her some questions about what's going
Yeah.
on, the stuff that she does. All right, let's be interactive tonight, and let's have a good time. So there did come a time you decided that you were going to change, but before you were a teacher,
Hmm.
you did some other things. What did you
Yeah.
do before you were a teacher?
Yeah, so I worked in video. I've worked in video news for a while, and
Hmm.
then I worked just for a video company that was educational. I actually, the reason I started getting into educational type jobs is because they worked better with the kids' schedule. But, from there I fell in love with teaching. And you know how when you are making a list of what you want to do the rest of your life, you teaching was on the list. It just wasn't top, is why I didn't go into it first. But it's always something I thought about. And then when I started doing online teaching, substitute teaching, I was a para in my kids' school. I started off just volunteering in my kids' school, and then they asked me to work there. Um, so that kind of led to the progression of me getting into teaching when I decided I wanted to go back to work full time when my kids got a little older. So,
So what level was your first year of teaching?
uh, what do you mean by level?
Grade level.
Oh. So, I guess I did substituting. That was all grade levels, and also online teaching. Basically, was also I had kids from like 3 to graduating. Not that many. I had a few adult clients, so I was teaching everybody. And then that middle school job was the first one where I was going back full time.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that was your first like in
Yeah.
class
Yeah.
actual.
And
And
I
what
think
so what actual grade was that?
it was 6. And I think the reason I was fooled is because I was teaching online classes, but it was much smaller group. When you're teaching online, you can just mute kids if they're talking.
Yeah.
You can't do that in the classroom. Just hit the mute button. Don't you guys wish we could do that sometimes?
Hmm.
But I also had taught in a private school, a private Christian school. I
Hmm.
taught ninth grade, and it was smaller class, but the kids were a lot more well behaved. So I guess I had had experience with that age group, but never in a big classroom public school setting like that. So that's kind of why I got into it. Didn't know what I was getting into.
So there is a big difference, you know. I mean, everybody here
Yes.
knows. I mean, well,
Yes.
sometimes we don't think about it, but you know, the private school gets, for lack of better words, the pick of the litter, whereas the public school gets whatever comes with the public. And it and
Yes, that
it's
is
very
true.
difficult.
Hmm.
And sixth graders are very difficult. I love sixth
Yes.
graders. I absolutely love sixth graders. I love sixth grade kids. I love to talk to them. I love to be around them. It's just the way they are. They are so like transparent. They can be very disrespectful and on and on and
Yes.
on. But over the years, I have absolutely come to love them. We got somebody else jumped right in here. I think this is a first time viewer. Good evening, seventh grade ELA, Tampa, Florida. Kelly, good to see you.
Hello. Like
I
your
love.
name.
So thank you for jumping in here from Florida. All right, you're about 2.5 hours south of us.
Okay.
If you know where Gainesville, Florida is, that's where I'm located right here in good old Gator country. Sarah Ann, she says they get out next week. Oh yeah, that's going to be the 20th, isn't it? It's absolutely going to be the
Wow.
20th.
I
Well,
just
Sarah,
got out Friday, so I feel you guys. There's so many of you that got out so much earlier than us.
well, when do you go back in Virginia? Do you wait till Labor
Uh,
Day?
no. The 24th is when the kids start school, and then I think we start a week before that. Hold on, let me look at my calendar. So I think, we start on the teachers start on the 17th, and then the kids the 24th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we start like the 1st of August. So I mean, our last day for students was May 31st, and then we have to come in for one in-service day, and then we got all those pre-service days, which I got to be honest with you, I hate those. I hate all those pre-service
Yeah.
days. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't like doing the icebreakers, and I don't like doing
Oh
all
yeah.
the get to know you stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm an introvert or something along those lines. I just don't care a whole lot for it. So one of the things, you started your YouTube channel, but that was actually something that you liked because you wanted to be on camera from the time that you were a kid. What was you wanting to do
Yeah.
right there?
Oh yeah. I wanted to be an actress when I was a kid. And then I did want to kind of be a reporter, an anchor. I ended up doing the production behind the scenes stuff because
Hmm.
that's more jobs were there and it was easier to get into. But that was one of the reasons I don't know. I just kind of always liked to do on camera stuff. And then when I got into online teaching, there was a whole bunch of people doing videos about, helping you get hired and helping. So it was kind of like, and oh, everyone else is doing it. I've always wanted to start a channel. Let me do that. So that's kind of how it started. And it started out as
Hmm.
online teaching, which then I pivoted my channel when I pivoted to more classroom teaching topics. But yeah, I feel like it's a creative outlet too. That's kind of why I started my channel. I do make a little bit of money, not much, but I kind of consider it more of a hobby. It's kind of like if somebody knits and then they sell a little bit of their knitting stuff, at a
Right.
market or a fair or something. Like I make a tiny bit of money from my
Right.
hobbies, basically.
Absolutely.
So,
So, one of the things that we've talked about here is, your burnout story, and struggling through that first year in middle school, the lack of support and how that affected you emotionally. Even though you've left there, teaching is hard. It's always going to be hard.
yes.
It's always been hard. So where you're at right now, how does the creative aspect of creating content and working on YouTube, how does that help you deal with the stresses and the pressures of teaching?
It does give you a creative outlet. It gives you something that's outside of teaching. And kind of since I do consider it a hobby, then if, like, for example, the past month I haven't posted anything because, well, the end of school year is so busy. So it's nothing about it is pressuring to me because I don't have to do it. If I take a break for a month, it's no big deal.
Right.
So it doesn't pressure me at all.
So one of the things that we talk about a lot here at Teacher Talk is stress. We talk about chronic stress. And whenever you're under chronic stress for long periods of time, like we are for teachers, 10 months out of the year, we end up in the fight or flight. And a part of that is raised cortisol levels.
Yeah.
But one of the interesting things is that even having a creative hobby that involves your hands and involves obviously some thinking and things of that nature, even if it's just for 45 minutes, significantly reduces the stress and the cortisol levels in the body of a person. And I tell the story here all the time. 4 years ago, I woke up, my face it was paralyzed.
Yeah.
I thought I had a stroke. Some people still think I had a stroke. My doctor doesn't
Mhm.
think so, but like my mouth didn't work for like a year, and
Wow.
on and on and on. But the thing that helped me the most, and it was all by God's grace, was being able to be out in my shop and be able to work on furniture, which turned into a regional business, by the way. I didn't
That's
mean for
great.
it to. It just did.
Yeah.
And that helped me so much. And so I want to encourage all of our teachers out there to find a hobby, find
Yes.
something that you do that is creative. It's not that
Right.
exercise isn't necessary, because it is, but find a creative hobby.
Hmm.
So, I mean, you mentioned that you hadn't done any for a while. Are you going to pick up over the summer a little bit?
Oh, definitely. I plan to do a lot of videos this summer. Um, I have some ideas. I'd like to interview people, like I was saying. So
Hmm.
definitely, I plan to. This week, I'd like to put out a video. So, yeah.
So, what's your topic that you think you're going to put out?
Well, I have some ideas. I want to interview you, but you said you're busy this week. I had a few other people in mind I could interview. There was like an educational book, and I know the author. That's a possibility. I'll have to see if she's free this week, or there's a few other people, but yeah, I'm gonna. Um, I'd like to do something like that. So
Yeah. So actually, I'm not going to be exactly busy because I'm going to take the first of two vacations this week. In fact, my newsletter goes
that's
out Tuesday,
great.
and that's what I say on my newsletter is that
Yeah,
I'm on vacation. So I won't you won't see me on YouTube or anything like that.
good.
Um, yeah, I feel like okay. So talking about the summertime, everybody talks about how teachers are off in the summertime. Well, that's
Right.
kind of a misnomer because you probably got some professional development that you got to go to, or some other stuff. Don't you have some
I
things that you got to
do.
do? Right.
Yeah, so I have a curriculum development. I signed up for a couple others. So in my where I live, you guys who are in the chat, tell me if this is in your district too. But so I have to do 3 flex days. Those are days outside your contracted hours that you have to put in. So I mean that could be like during the school year if you do something at night, could be like a half day, or if you do something on the weekend, which a lot of
Hmm.
teachers do that kind of stuff anyway. I prefer just to do them over the summer. I just sign up for some professional development, or if I go in a day early to set up my classroom, so then I don't have to worry about it. Um, yeah, so that's it. And it's hard for me to get in the mindset of relaxing yet since I did just end school on Friday. And actually, I'm freelancing at my old video company tomorrow, so I'm still getting up early. So it probably won't even hit me till Tuesday that I'm actually off yet. Oh, and I'm stopping by my new school after a freelance. It's a half day freelance. So it's like, yeah, it's not going to hit me till Tuesday, I think, when I'm even
Yeah.
off yet.
Yeah, then your body can kind of relax. I know
Yeah.
for me, I know for me that initially, whenever summer rolls around, there's the initial release.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's over, and
Yeah.
then it just takes about a few more days, and it kind of picks back up on me again because I got to be honest with you. As much as we talk on here about no education related stuff and this, that, and the other, my job sort of demands that I do certain things, even though I'm
Right.
off contract. I mean, I hired a baseball coach on like the last day of school
Mm.
and got to get him moved, got to get him oriented, had to get him introduced to parents, which required me to go and work. And there's thought about schedules because right
Yeah.
now is when baseball schedules get made,
Right.
so there's a lot that goes on right there. So it's hard to escape it. And I bring up that point because, the public looks at us and they think that we're just not working in this period of time. It is true that we're not
Yeah.
going to a place of work,
Right.
but we really are still having to do some work,
Yeah.
no matter how. And so the point is that it's really hard to get out of teacher mode even in the summertime. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when you get the opportunity after tomorrow, what is the first out of teacher mode thing you think you might do?
Oh boy. Just have a slow morning and not have to rush to get ready to go off somewhere. That'll be the first thing I do on Tuesday, actually. So yeah, and actually, I did want to say something though about kind of the summer. I think a lot of people, if they say it to us in the context of like, oh, your job's so easy if summer's off. Yeah, that's offensive because our job is not easy.
Hmm.
10 months out of the year, the job is really hard. But I do, as someone who didn't originally start in teaching, I think it is an advantage that we have is that we do get summers off because not a lot of other professions do. And like all jobs, there's advantages and disadvantages. That's one of the advantages of teaching, and there's plenty of jobs out there if you want to have summers off too. So, um, but there's a lot of disadvantages to teaching too, which we've talked about. So, just,
Yep.
I mean, hey, just own it. Unless they say, oh, your job's easy. If they say, oh, you get summers off, I say, yeah, I do, and it's great. Just
Yeah.
own it. We do. That's a good thing about it.
Yeah. I usually point out that I do 12 months worth of work in 10 months.
Yeah, that
And
too. Yep.
we do get summer off in a
Yeah.
sense that we're not going to the school building. But there's a lot of stuff to do right there. And I like to point out that I don't get paid from May 31st until about August the 15th or something like that. So it's very kind that our districts will divvy up our checks into a 24-month
Right.
period. But
Right.
but right now we're not getting paid a penny. So,
Right.
uh, but on average, about 78% of teachers work anywhere from 10 to 12 hours per week unpaid overtime. And that's where you
Oh,
get the
definitely.
idea. That's where we get the idea that we work 12 months in a
Yeah.
10-month period.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, my first act of non-teacher stuff is we're headed out tomorrow. So,
Nice.
have you ever worked for an administrator that didn't treat you very well?
Oh, yes. More than one, but definitely I did not feel supported at that middle school. And I talk about it in that video, but it's like when the kids, I think that's part of when the kids are going crazy, you're trying to call parents, you don't have the
Hmm.
admin support. I've definitely worked at other places too where I didn't feel supported by admin or, they just leave you out to dry with, I don't know. Yeah, I've more than once I have for sure. Yep.
So, what does that do to the teacher when they have the feeling that they're not supported by their admin? How does that affect their work?
Yeah, it just makes you feel like you've got it coming at you at all sides. You've got the kids that you are dealing with misbehaving. You've got their parents that don't back you, and then who you're expecting to support you, your admin who's supposed to have your back, takes the parent side
Yep.
or just doesn't help you or blames you when you're new to the job. And I've had good admin as well who
Hmm.
do support me, who do back me, or when they need to call a parent calls, they say, "Well, yes, your child did do this," and it makes the hugest difference in the world. I've had both, and boy, night
Hmm.
and day difference when you feel supported by your admin.
Absolutely.
So,
So a question actually came in for you, but got a few jumps in right here. Tam and Fam 25 from North
hello.
Florida up in the Jacksonville area, right around home. We got Tampa in here tonight, and we have North Florida, and we have, I guess, Central Florida here with Gainesville. Pittsburgh Pirates 14 wants to know, just curious, what does support look like to you? When we
Oh,
talk about
good
support, what
question.
does that look like?
Well, I can say it because, I actually this year I really feel supported by my admin. If I didn't, I wouldn't tell you because, of course, I'm not going to say if I didn't like my current boss, but I can say it since I do. Um, so maybe a parent calls or we need to call a parent about something that happened with their child and they say, "Oh, well, this doesn't happen at home," and the admin backs you and says, "Well, it did happen here." uh, Maybe helping you if you have a question, being there to support your job and doing my admin this year does a lot of the little things for you. um, well, she used to work in special education, and that helps. That would be support, backing you with parents, you know, answering your questions and not. I had once had an admin that, and I was new to a particular job at this time that would just, she looked at it as a negative because if I needed to ask a question about something and it ended up coming back to bite me. So those are the kinds of things that make me feel supported.
So Pittsburgh Pirates 14. I got to tell you, I think that the number one thing that teachers want and at school from their admin is to know that their admin has their back. And I can tell you,
Yes.
I can speak for my school 100%. I have never, ever, ever watched one time um, our admin ever throw anybody under the bus,
That's good.
right? Even in times, okay, even in times where a teacher might be in the wrong, the admin show up And I want you to know that that makes a big deal when you're not being thrown under the bus
Mm-hmm.
in front of parents. Now, that
Yes.
doesn't mean that they might not do whatever they do behind closed doors, but there was never a concession on the part of the administration. There was always support for the teacher, and that is a super, super big deal. And that's what it looks like
Yes.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things that we pointed out, I think it was in our video that we put out the other day, three reasons why teachers quit over the summer, and the number two reason is because there's no support.
Yes.
There's no support from it's hard to get support from admin because they're between a rock and a hard place because they got people above them that want this done and they got people
Mm-hmm.
above them that want this done. It's really hard to get support from parents because one stat that I read said that 80% of parents will not hold their student accountable for what they do at school. I don't know if that's true or not. I
Crazy.
read that. That sounds
I
about
believe
right.
it. I believe
Okay.
it. Yeah.
And what's even more is we don't have any support from, our legislators as it
Mm.
relates to teachers. They always talk about how, they're pro teacher, they're pro education, and then they do things that are not pro teacher and pro education. So, and teachers feel that. And that's why,
Yeah.
in part, teachers are walking out the door. That's what I think. Pittsburgh Pirates. What does it look like to you?
Right.
Anybody else out there in YouTube? Tell us, what does good administrative support look like? I would love to hear that. So a lot of listeners may not know, but again, we talked about this earlier, but everybody may have missed it. You didn't start as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You started elsewhere and you transitioned into being a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And some of what you do on YouTube is to try to help teachers make that transition.
Mm-hmm.
What could people do if they wanted to come into the teaching business? What are some of the things that you would teach them?
So there, because there's such a teacher shortage, a lot of districts have incentives and programs to
Yep.
help teachers. Either they'll let you work and get a full teacher salary while you're working toward the certification. They'll pay for some or part of your schooling. There's
Mm-hmm.
programs out there people don't even know they exist. And, I have a few videos about those types of programs and people are surprised. I have one that's like get a teaching degree for free or highly discounted. I'll give you a couple examples of some of the programs they have even in my county. So they have one program where they let you shadow a teacher for 2 years. They are paying you a starting teacher salary, so you get like a year one teacher salary, and then when the next year two teacher salary while you're shadowing the teacher. They give you Monday and Friday off to go to the schooling. Um, there's another one where, or the program the one that I got into for my current position, I've done several positions in teaching, was they let you start, they're paying you a teacher salary while you're getting the master's degree. You have to already have a bachelor's, but it can be a bachelor's in anything. And then
Right.
they paid for half of our schooling. They put you in a cohort because there's a lot of people in our county and surrounding counties because there's a teacher shortage, especially in special education. So, I mean, they're catering to people who work full time and have a job. And they pay for half your certification, and then by the time you're done with the program, you're on a year three teacher salary. So I know my district is doing those kinds of things, and I hear of so many others that are doing similar. So, I had a friend whose daughter was going to go into education. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
she could just she could just start off in the county and they'll
Right.
help pay for the schooling. So,
Right.
I mean, so many people don't know that those are out there and exist. And I mean, a lot of you that are watching probably are already into teaching, but this is the kind of stuff pass along if you know someone who's getting into teaching.
Sure. Well,
So,
a lot of folks that hang out in here, they're paras and they may be working
mhm,
towards certification and things of that nature. So that'd be a great resource for them. Um,
right.
so uh, here's what Tam and Fam says. Good admin support includes communication, minimizing unnecessary stress, making clear incentives for teachers, and unpacking pay performance. What do you think about that, Kelly?
That is so true. So true. Um, so performance pay, that, I assume that's where they're talking about some districts pay you based on what test scores or something. Is that what that is?
So I know that some do, and I don't know if other districts or other contracts have different types of performance pay. Uh,
Okay.
but it should be, it ought to be made clear what it takes to be able to get that.
Yes.
I think that's what she's talking about right there.
Oh,
So
okay.
yep, she's in North Florida, so I kind of have an idea what she's talking about. I'm just not
Yeah.
sure. I think teachers need to know what it is that they need to accomplish in order to earn a better performance pay. Let's see, Pittsburgh Pirates for me, professional trust, take care of small things, provide growth opportunities for me, daily positivity in the hallways, clear and
Yes.
consistent expectations, and support my classroom initiatives. I guess I got to say yes to all that. What do you think,
Yeah.
Kelly?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Actually, the daily positivity in the hallways, I don't know if your districts do this, but ours, at the end of the year, they have like a climate survey they send out.
yeah,
And I guess one of the things that was said about our school was people could be unfriendly. So then this was the end of the year, last year's climate survey. So then this year they wanted to make sure, like, we want everybody to be friendlier. We're going to model it. We'll make sure we say hi to you. You say hi to us. My admins this year were trying to do that. So we know what you mean. Like, if people are just going to beat in themselves and not be
yep.
friendly, yeah.
Yep. So here, Tam and Fam kind of made also making clear what highly effective is for teachers. So, hey,
Yes.
Tam and Fam, since we're both in Florida, are you on a Danielson model or a Marzano model? Now, I'm very curious about that, and as soon as you tell me, I will give you a further opinion on that issue right there, and how to reach that incentive. Absolutely. So, Pittsburgh Pirates 14 said something very important right here. I think he said, provide growth opportunities for me. All right. I think that's where school leadership fails a lot. All right. Because a growth opportunity, perhaps in an education setting, is we're going to send you to an Avid conference, or we're going to send you over to the district for this training. And the reason why is because principals are um, administrative leaders. And I think there's a difference between administrative leaders and organizational leaders. And I feel like in order to make that happen, Pittsburgh Pirates 14, is that districts need to focus on creating and training principals and administrators to be organizational leaders just as much as they want administrative leaders. Just an opinion. What do you think, Kelly?
Yes, totally agree. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so Tama Fam, she's on a Marzano. All right, you're on a pretty good model right there. We're on the Danielson model down where I work, and what they always say about the Danielson model is that it's no good for anything unless you want to fire a teacher. And so there's that, because a lot of what you read in these models, and I don't know if you've ever looked at yours, but the whatever the ideal concept of a teacher is, according to that model, I don't know anybody that can actually reach that. Do you?
I know. Yeah, it's impossible to be teacher of the year. They require a lot outside of your contracted hours. So, yeah,
I will not be teacher of the year.
I won't either. I'm going to be a good teacher to and serve the students, but like all the extra stuff in the outside of my classroom and my students. Yeah.
So I actually think that that's a good point that you made right there. I'm going to be a good teacher, but I'm not going to be the teacher of the year,
Right.
because you're not, what I heard you just say right there, because you're not going to run yourself into the ground. You're not going to allow your identity to get caught up in your work. You're going to come to school, do your job, be effective at it, go home and enjoy life. Is that what I hear?
Exactly. Yes,
Now,
exactly.
that is, so I think that we just put like teacher talk into a nutshell right there,
Yeah.
right? That's what we're talking about,
Yes.
is go to school, be a good teacher, Be a
Yeah.
great teacher, but you don't have to try to earn the Teacher of the Year award, which in my area, and I don't know how it all works in your area, Teacher of the Year is determined by a faculty vote in my
Yeah, so
area.
it's basically a
It's
popularity
it is
contest.
it's a popularity contest. So you could literally work yourself into the ground and never be the Teacher of the Year if nobody
Right.
likes you. So,
Right, and it's got to be the one who's doing all the extra stuff. Oh, I'm gonna do like a running club, or I'm gonna do this and that, and
yeah,
I don't want to do all that extra stuff. I want to do my job, and then have a life.
that's right.
Yeah.
Do my job, do my job well, and then go home and live my life. Pittsburgh Pirates
Yes.
14 says, "My previous school did a great job. They pushed me to be a state teacher evaluator last year. I appreciate them providing me that opportunity. I'm a state certified now to evaluate other teachers."
Okay, so
That
that probably provided more opportunity, or
sure.
was that like a promotion or a pay raise, or just like a lateral move, but just something different that you enjoy?
Well, I think the cool part right there is that his administration made a way for him to learn a skill,
That's true. Yeah.
whatever that skill is. So, Kelly, what is it that keeps you going? In your current role, you're a special education teacher, and I know, and we've said it here, I don't know how many times, special education teachers are absolutely the heroes of the education system. It is so difficult. It's such a hard job.
Yeah.
What keeps you going in that role?
Oh, that's tough. But when you do see growth in the kids, when the parents at the end of the year tell you you made a difference, when you do hear maybe from the special education office and your admin that you're making a difference and doing a great job, that keeps me going. So those are some of the things. Doesn't mean sometimes the day to day is still hard. We have hard days for sure. So
So in your classroom, is it a common thing for a teacher to get hit or a teacher to get bitten?
oh, I teach special education. Yes. And at the preschool level, kind of all disabilities are lumped together, whereas when you get school age, so
Hmm.
I could get anything. So from, a child that just needs a little help with their speech to severe autism or spina bifida or cerebral palsy or so yes, and yeah. So definitely have gotten hit, bit, scratched, pulled hair, everything this year. And yeah, they're little, but some of them are very strong. You'd be
They are.
surprised how strong a 5-year-old can be.
They're
So, yeah.
100% strong. I can remember an issue years ago. It was like my first day on the job, as dean of students many years ago, and this kid, he was in the first grade. He was on the bus and he was beating the windows, and I for the life of me, I thought he was going to break the windows. I thought that he was
Mm.
going to punch his hand through the window. I don't even know if that's possible. That's how hard he was hitting it. And so I made this decision that I was going to go in for a restraint. And man, this little 8-year-old kid turned me upside down
Ah, yeah.
and knocked my radio off my hip. And I had to crawl through the bus to find my radio. And the SRO had to come
Right.
to the bus and help me restrain an 8-year-old kid. The
I know.
kid the kid liked to beat me to death, and I was
Yeah.
in my 40s. I think I was like 46 whenever that happened. I'm like 53 now. I will never forget that, and that's the
Uh,
last restraint that I ever made right there. I've never
exactly.
made
They're
another one.
strong, even when they're little. Exactly. And I don't know about when I get the training, you have a partner and like the person's limp. Okay, you're
Yeah,
supposed to do this, and the person's like,
yeah.
okay. I'll put my hands behind my back so you can restrain me. But when you're dealing with a real child, they're struggling, they're hitting back,
You got it.
yeah, it's not the same when you're in that training as it
It
is
is.
when you're in real life.
It is not. Did you all take CPI up there, or what did you do?
I
We
I don't know
we
what that is, but we take something called Handle with Care. It's probably
yeah
something similar, but
yeah.
yeah, they teach you restraint tactics. And what we teach for they teach us for preschool is slightly different because they're smaller kids. I think it's like a full day thing when they're doing for older kids. But if you've had this training, then if you have to use it, then the county will back you.
Yep.
If if a parent tries to sue you. And I mean, you're
Yep.
not, just so you know, parents, we're not out to try to restrain your kid or harm your child. This is if a child is harming themselves or someone else,
Yep.
and we're trying to prevent them from doing that is when
Yep.
we use these. But
That's right. That's
yeah,
right. At 100%. I don't like restraints. We have restraints,
yeah,
we have restraints, I don't know, 3 or 4 years sometimes. I mean, even if the SRO gets involved, we have to do restraint reports. I do not
yes,
like to do restraint reports. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of,
right.
you gotta call, you gotta kind of try to explain it, and then you gotta do the report, and then you gotta send it by mail
It's a lot.
and
Yeah,
all kinds of other stuff. Hey, so look
yeah.
right here. Tam and Fam, Dr. Pender jumped in. She says Marzano is a scary
Hello.
world. I don't know about that. Doc, why is it so scary? That's what I'd like to hear. You're scaring Tam and Fam to death up there. I just told her she had a good model. All right. Why is
I
that
usually
so?
watch her on your show. Now it's funny
Yeah.
to be in the other.
Yes, it is. Listen, I am so glad that we're building like this little teacher network right here.
Yeah.
And by the way, Doc is live. Dr. Pender is live tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Is that correct, Doc? Drop it
Okay.
in the chat and let me know. Okay. Now, Pittsburgh Pirates 14 says that whenever he wants to do a restraint, that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu works well for him.
Yeah. I don't think my county would back me if I did that,
he's,
but
he's,
okay.
he's gonna make them tap out for
Yeah.
sure. So if y'all have time to catch her there tomorrow night. She says it's the worst way, Marzano, is to evaluate somebody. It's so cumbersome. Well, I got to be honest. I've never been evaluated on it. I always wanted to be. I've always been on a Danielson model, and I never did understand it. So here it is again, Teacher Kelly Tag right there. That is her YouTube channel. Check her out. In particular, this video right here. Okay, one that you might want to check out. It's got 76,000 views, and for those of you that don't know, to get 76,000 views on YouTube is like like 750,000 views on TikTok. That's a tremendous feat, and she's helping teachers every chance she gets. You see that she has a great library and catalog of videos. So y'all jump over there and check her out and join her channel, and give her some support over there. Okay. Also, a couple things. If you wanted to be interviewed by Kelly, because she is looking for teachers to interview. Every time I try to get your email address, it gets me right here. I don't know. Why is it doing that to me?
TeacherKellyTag@gmail.com.
I am trying so hard.
That's
It's
okay.
giving me a headache, so I can put it in there. I should have put it in my notes, but my
Here, I'll
great,
try to put it in. I can
yeah,
put it in too.
yeah. I just actually got it, so we can both
Oh,
get it in
okay.
there. It's okay. It's okay. Go ahead and put it in there. That's fine. You can contact her right there, at her email. She's putting it in as well. She wants to talk to teachers. Okay. So jump in there, make contact with her, and get those things set up. Also, Dr. Pender says yes tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern
Okay.
Standard Time. So
I'll
y'all tune
watch.
in for her and listen to her. Doc, tell us what is the topic tomorrow night so we can get ready for it. Also, while y'all are right there, I wanted to drop a couple things in for you. All the Teacher Talk free stuff can be found right here at this address in the link right there, or you can get it up here on the QR if I can ever find that. Right there, you can grab it on the QR code. Leave that up there for a minute. If you want a discovery call, I want to encourage you to do that. You can grab that at the link that we're about to upload right here. You'll see it, the discovery call. Grab 30 minutes with us, and I promise you that it'll be 30 minutes that changes the direction of at least your day. Okay, it won't necessarily fix everything that's going on in the world, but it will change the direction of your day. Okay. Anybody else? Doc, what's the topic for tomorrow night, or did you already jump off? I think she may have jumped off on us. I don't blame her. Oh, there it is. We need to
Yeah.
chat about what's distracting you. We have a whole summer and it's time to use it. That's what she's talking about
Oh, that's a good
tomorrow night,
topic.
7 p.m. 7 p.m.
That'll be
A-
good for me who's just starting my summer. Tomorrow is
Absolutely.
the first day, yeah.
Well, talking about that, Kelly, what does a good summer look like for you?
I want to be able to travel. I'm going to go to the beach, New York City. Actually, I was going to go to New York City twice. I canceled my trip for next weekend because, well, if you watch the news, you'd know. I don't think I want to go up there when the World Cup's up there.
Nope. And the Knicks.
Yeah,
And the Knicks.
right. Did you see they put a bus on fire? They were destroying stuff. I don't want to go to New York City right now.
I
So
don't
I
either.
did cancel next week, but I have a trip planned in July. I'm going to go, and then I'm also going to. Well, I know there's a Christian channel. You know, in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, they kind of have like a Broadway for Christians. I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah?
go see Joshua. Yeah, what's it called? A Sight and Sound.
Really?
Have you heard of that? People in the
No.
chat, you probably heard. Okay, so it's kind of like the Broadway for Christians in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. My cousin lives there, so we're going to see Joshua. I think I'm going to go visit her on the way up to New York City, then go. I'm going to go to the beach, and I wish I could travel even more, but my husband travels for work, so I might try to go with him like at least one of the trips, but that hasn't been planned. I plan to get in shape, exercise, and eat right because now I have time. Maybe, trips to the pool and oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's it
Okay.
right there.
You found it fast. Yes.
That is awesome. Oh, so you're
Yep.
going to see Joshua, huh?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That is excellent.
Yeah.
So you're going to
Yeah.
travel and go to the beach. You're going to see a play.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I like to try to see a Broadway when I go to New York City. Yeah. Let's see what else. I'll try to go to the pool a couple times here and there in my local area. I have a lot of like day trips I could do where I live as well. There's a lot I could do. And my daughter's off all summer, so we could off of work and school, so we plan to do some things. Yeah.
So other than those 3 days that you have to give, those three flex days, the
Hmm.
rest of it you're going to enjoy life.
Exactly. Just those 3 days and that's it. And yeah, I will enjoy life the rest of the summer.
So at what point do you, maybe this would help a lot of people out there, at what point do you start to think back about school? Like you,
Definitely August. Like the week before, I have to go back. I try not to plan anything that week right before the teacher week we go back, just because even though vacations are fun, they are busy and a little stressful. I try to just like, okay,
yep.
calm before the storm, calm down and not plan anything that last week. But definitely August comes, you start thinking about it, and the week before, for sure, you're thinking about it. Yeah.
So I actually think that's a pretty good idea that you just brought up right there is, the week before you have to go back, that's probably not the best time to take a great big vacation because I don't know about you. We're going out of town next week, but when we come back, you know exactly what I'll say is that I'm going to have to take a vacation from the vacation because I'm worn
Right.
out. And it wouldn't be
Right.
anything worse than going on a big long week, a big long vacation and then walk right back into the door the next day or the day after like that and be completely worn out. So
Right.
that's a good tip right there. One home 8680. Summer is off to a good start, man. I am glad to hear that. That is awesome.
Yeah. What are you
Uh,
doing? Tell us what you were doing.
yeah,
That
tell
summer's
us what's
off to
going
such a
on.
good start. Yeah.
Absolutely. Tell us what's happening out there. Let's see. Pittsburgh Pirates says go see Wicked on Broadway. It's awesome.
That has been on my list forever. I've been wanting to see it. My sister actually just won tickets to it recently and saw it. So then she's like, "Well, I just saw it. I don't want to see it again." But yeah, that's been on my list forever. I really want to see it. So
Uh,
yeah,
I have no idea what it even is.
Wicked.
I have no clue.
So you watch The Wizard of Oz, right?
Well, when I was
So
a kid,
so right. So
yes.
Wicked's like a prequel to the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, it's
They
how we got the Wizard of Oz.
well, I
So,
think it actually was, from my understanding, someone correct me, it was actually written by a different author, like after The Wizard of Oz was
right.
written, but like, so then somebody wrote this prequel. So the movie was big, Ariana Grande was in it. The movie was really big, um, the past couple years. I'm sure you heard about the movie being in the theaters and yeah,
I did, but I didn't know what it was.
yeah.
I got to be honest with you, I'm a little out of the loop on like current events and popular stuff. I don't hardly ever go see a movie, but I did go see the movie Pressure that came out on
Okay.
Memorial Day that was about the 72 hours leading up to the D-Day invasion.
Oh, I saw the ads for that. I want to see that. I
Yes,
really want.
yes.
Yeah, we had the because my grandfather was there on D-Day, so I saw the ads. I want to see that. Was it good?
So it was intense from start to finish.
Oh yeah, I
I do
bet.
not want to give anything away in
Okay, don't, because I want to go
case
see
people out
that
there
one.
want to go see it. I
Yeah.
do, however, remember as a kid in history, U.S. history, learning about this particular event because, D-Day was originally scheduled on June 5th, and it ended up being on June 6th, and there's a reason for that. And I remember as a kid learning that. But I will say this, all right, I won't say too much more. Um, I'm a three tour combat veteran, all
Okay.
right,
Thank you for
and
your service.
I appreciate that. And um, going to see the movie, it was very hard to watch the end of the movie when
Oh,
they reenact the D-Day and these guys are just getting mowed down with bullets and
I
you
bet.
know, I know that's a movie,
Right.
but I also know that there were men and women in a room making decisions about the lives of thousands of men.
Yep.
And that makes it very difficult for me to watch.
Yeah,
So,
and you go ahead.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
just it's hard for me to watch.
I bet,
Um,
especially
you
if
know,
you've been in
as
combat.
as a you know being in the Middle East many times.
Mm,
Um, disabled veteran. I am. Um,
oh,
it is. It's hard to watch, but
yeah.
it seemed like a story that needed to be told. So check it out.
Definitely.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, you know, I was that kid that couldn't stand history and like started liking it later in life because
Hmm.
in school you're kind of learning just a bunch of
Yep.
dates and it just seems boring. But you kind of realize when I started more getting into it as an adult and reading books about history that these are people's lives. People had to live this, and I didn't understand the significance of D-Day, but my grandfather's job was to open the back and send men to their death. And I just think about how, at least nowadays, we have a lot more help for veterans and we understand PTSD. And back then, they kind of had nothing to help. So, what they must have been through, and they didn't have the help or resources that we might have today. And even with what we have today, people still suffer and it doesn't always help. But I can't imagine. I want to see it. I really want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great story. It is hard to watch, and you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. The VA, and now we're off track. I don't even know how we
I
got
know.
on.
I know. We totally got off topic.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
everyone.
But for years the VA was not a veteran friendly place. That
Mm,
has changed a lot, so I want to give credit there. They're starting to listen to veterans, in particular, as it relates
yeah.
to as it relates to mental health, and what being forced to go to another part of the world where there's real danger and there's real stuff. And being in that situation for many, many, many days in a row, coming home, and a lot of men came home, and I will say this: a lot of men came home, their wives had left them while they were gone, took their kids. And I'm sure that the reverse of that is true. That there were women that went and served, and they came home and their husbands had left, and things of that nature, and just what that does to you psychologically and things of that
Right.
nature.
And
Pittsburgh
then
Pirates.
the other, well, I was
Go,
just going to say the other side of it too is that what the men experienced over there in combat sometimes changes who they are too. And, that makes it hard on a marriage as well.
yep.
So, there's all of that.
Yep, it makes it very difficult. Pittsburgh Pirates, thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
we've
I
got a lot of
home,
people in the chat.
appreciate you. Let's see what we got right here. We got Tam and Fam. You're not alone, John. Education tends to put us inside of a black box. It comes to the outside world for many days. There's a new Michael Jackson movie out there that I heard was great. Is that true?
Oh, okay. Is that the one in Netflix or is there one in the theater? And then
I,
there was MJ on Broadway was all about his life too. I didn't see that
I,
one, but
I don't have a clue. I'm
yeah.
out of it. What's the name of the vet movie that's out? Is it the one that we were just talking about?
Pressure.
Pressure. Is that the one you're wondering about, Tam and Fam? It's really good. I hope it's still out. I know it was out on Memorial Day. I never go to the theater. I just told my wife, said, "Hey, we're going to go watch this," and we packed it up, went over there, and paid the money
Yeah,
to
I
watch
want
it.
to see that one. It'd be
Yeah,
worth it for the
yeah. Her
theater.
her
Yeah.
father is a Vietnam veteran. He died of Agent Orange as a young man. He was about my age, 53, and so and her brother, who is my age, he was also a combat veteran, and we were both in the Persian Gulf at the same time. But that has affected him far worse than it has affected me. He has so many health problems, it's ridiculous. And the reason why is because while we were over there, and it wasn't just, the thought of, enemy fire and stuff like that, but at the time, you know, uh, I guess the Iraqis blew up their own oil wells. You probably remember seeing that. And the sky was completely black. It was black,
Wow.
right, from smoke. You really didn't even know it was daytime. It was that bad. And so, of course, we breathed all that in and this, that, and the other. And I'm just going to show you a picture of where I was at. I was in the Air Force, and so I was at a place called Kobar Towers. And we were the very first squadron to get there, and we established that. And on June 25th, and this is coming up, 1996, this is what happened. Because, whenever we would come through the gate, they would treat us, our own people would treat us like dogs. They would search us and pull our stuff out, make us empty our bags, run dogs in our stuff, and they would let
That's
the
terrible.
and they would let those Iraqi and Iranian nationals go right through the gate. And that's
Wow.
what one of them did. All right, that's where we stayed.
Wow.
Okay. And it's a difficult thing. Obviously, thank the Lord I was not there at the time. But going back to the movie Pressure and understanding what combat loss looks like is very difficult to watch that. Let's see, and thank you for your service to the military as well. I don't deserve a crown at
Yes, you
all, but
do.
we absolutely, it was a long time before I ever wanted to talk about those issues there. Let's see. I show pics of military vets so kids know why the Pledge of Allegiance is important. Thank you for doing
That's
that one
great.
one home
Yes.
8680 because
Thank you.
I don't know how it is in your part of the world, but kids are not required to say the Pledge of Allegiance here in Florida. I actually don't think they are anywhere. We can ask them to stand or whatever, but we can't make them say the pledge. You know, at school. It's probably the same way wherever you guys are. Well, I think we ran the gamut. We've talked about
We
everything from
did.
teaching to summer to movies, and I tell you what,
Right.
that's a good
Military.
relaxing idea over the summer. A
Right.
de-stressor, right? Is to go watch a movie.
Right. Movies, plays. Yeah.
I did not know that place existed in Lancaster. Isn't that like Amish area? Isn't
Yes.
that
Yep.
so? Are they the ones that put the play on? The
And the
Amish?
Amish, no.
No,
I don't know how it ended up in, no, but it's basically like the Christian Broadway. So,
I'm gonna
yeah.
go there.
Yeah, you should. It's not too crowded like trying to go to New York. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate our audience tonight. I know it's summertime, and everybody's out having a good time, and that's exactly where you should be. We are not here Wednesday night or Sunday night. We are out, and I will be back next week. I'm not sure if Dr. Pender's with us or not, or who's going to be with us, but anyway, I will be here. So until then, you stay strong and keep teaching. All right?